live streaming going forward now. From now on, every race, we will continue to upload the streams to the podcast places. So please tell your friends about us. Get your family involved. Formula One is the fastest growing sport in the world. There's about 100 million people just got through watching the Austrian Grand Prix. So have all your friends and family become part of it. Welcome to the Formula One News Hour, Formula One fans. This is Jonathan Steele, your host, and we are coming to you live from Austin, Texas, but we are live streaming this podcast of the British Grand Prix. The British, of course, have got a lot going on in sports this weekend. We've got, as well as the Formula One race, we've got the Wimbledon Tennis Championships. So let's get started and thank our sponsors. The first couple of live streams we did, we forgot to thank our sponsors because we got all kind of flustered, I guess. But anyway, we'd like to thank Thenology, Thenology.com. If you would like private cloud, public cloud, storage, disaster recovery, or co-location for your own servers, then Thenology is where you would need to be. So please give them a look up at Thenology.com. We also want to thank Give, Send, Go. Folks, you can't always help what happens to you in life, but you can find the right avenues to help you get out of a jam or help your friends get out of a jam. And when we're talking about a jam, of course, we're talking about a financial jam. So you need to go and sign up or contribute to a crowdfunding entity. And you want to go to the good folks at Give, Send, Go. That is givesendgo.com. And finally, this third sponsor for this week's podcast is say for this week, they've been with us since the beginning as well, is Moms for Liberty. It's momsforliberty.org. This is an organization that is focused on getting parents involved with their child's education, getting the schools to teach more about math and English and science than they do about sexual identity. So if you'd like to help out, if you'd like to get involved, get on a school board, please go to Moms for Liberty. Excuse me, momsforliberty.org. That is momsforliberty.org. And so today is Silverstone. We've just started the qualifying session number 1. It is damp. It's not really raining, but it's damp. So I'd assume that they have the intermediates on. Just trying to look on the tires there and see what they've got on. They haven't put it up on the screen yet what it is, but all the folks there have got the folks I'm talking about got the rain gear on. Although some brave ones out there that don't appear to have don't appear to worry too much about the weather. And in fact, they are on the slicks, and most of them are on the soft with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And in particular note, actually Charles Leclerc is on the intermediate. So we got Leclerc, Sainz, Sargent, Magnussen and Hülkenberg all on the intermediate tires. The track does not look that wet. Every now and then you can see there's a slight puddle of water, but really nothing right now that would suggest that you would need the intermediates, because the intermediates are going to cost you about 3 to 4 seconds as opposed to the slicks. Now, in some places they are going to have to slow down as the slicks get wet and dry out, but still, I still would think it's a good 3 to 4 second margin about what they're going to lose there. So the big news for this week is really the Williams team. Alex Albon and Logan Sargent are putting in significantly quick times in the free practice sessions, and everybody's kind of wondering where did Williams find this speed. They came in free practice 1 and free practice 2. They came in 3rd. I haven't seen the times yet for free practice number 3. I was helping my daughter out this morning when I normally do my research, but we'll take a look at that. But I have been reading about how surprised everybody is about the quickness of the Williams team. If you remember last week, I was talking about the changes that they've made to the car have been quite significant in their positioning. In the race itself, it wasn't so much Alex Albon really improving on his pace. I think he came in 7th or 8th last week, but Logan Sargent, who's a rookie, is certainly coming in there with some and who's lost it? It is it Hamilton just spun out on the corner there? I can't see the helmet, so I can't tell if it's Hamilton or if it's Russell. So I'm sure they'll show us that again in just a moment. But anyways, he just he's on slicks, and of course, if you don't get to the right speed and get that water off your tires as you go into the turns, you are going to lose it. And it just showed Lance Stroll there wiggling away. So that had to have been Russell, because they've just shown Hamilton's time. So, but no, it wasn't. It was Hamilton. So why have they got a time in there like that? But yeah, that corner where he lost it is a little damp, and he just as he went into the apex of the turn, the car just didn't have enough grip, just lost the grip. Now, fortunately, he managed to get it out of the gravel and keep going. It's very difficult to get these cars out of the gravel because they're so low to the ground, and that gravel is loose, and they'll sink sometimes onto the pan. And they when I say the pan, I'm talking about the floorboards, and then the wheels just spin. So right now we've got the times coming in, and we've got Verstappen, Ocon, Piastri. Now there's an interesting surprise. Piastri all the way up there in 3rd. Albon has just turned in 7th quickest. George Russell just turned in 2nd quickest now. So we're starting to see some decent times come in, but not really that good yet. Verstappen's at 1:33. Valtteri Bottas coming in there in 3rd position right now. If you've been listening to my podcasts this year, you've been hearing how really quite surprised I am that Valtteri Bottas really has been slow and has not really been having a good year at all. He's really been at the bottom of the pack, and Alonso now has just turned in a 1:31, and that puts him in 1st place, and his teammate right behind him at 1:32. We've got Nick de Vries also in there at 4th. So Verstappen is, they're showing him, he just had the fastest 1st sector. 2nd sector, he matched his time. So I think he's going to take over with the fastest qualifying session here in just a moment. Leclerc has just come in at number 3. Alex Albon looks like he's going to stay where he is. Where's Verstappen? Verstappen came in 2nd, so we've got Alonso 1st, Verstappen 2nd, and Stroll 3rd. So what's really exciting as the year is going on, we're starting to see the competition tighten up. We've seen Alonso really challenging Verstappen for pole positions. Now races, of course, race conditions are quite different, but now we're seeing the Williams team. We've watched all year at the Aston Martins, and of course the McLarens the last couple of weeks have been really quick and really good, with Lando Norris taking 5th place last week. So right now they're down. We still got 11 minutes to go. We got a long time to go here in Q session 1. Yeah, it's really exciting, I think, anyway, to see the tightening up of the competition. The guys that don't seem to have made any real improvements to their car, and we're just watching Carlos Sainz there nearly lose it going through one of the turns. But Ferrari does not seem to have really improved much their cars from the beginning of the year. What seems to happen is they either get good positions or bad positions based on strategy, based on tires, based on all the lots of car setup and things like that. But it doesn't seem like the cars overall have had any improvement this year. Whereas, as we've noted, Aston Martin, certainly now Williams, and McLaren have done some significant changes. The interesting thing, of course, from last week, and now looking at during the free practice sessions, the Mercedes are quite slow. So that is interesting. I think on Q's, in fact, right now Hamilton's all the way down. Well, Russell just turned in the fastest time, but by the end of the free practice sessions, Mercedes were down in the middle of the pack. They were not really that fast at all. So that the upgrades that they brought in a couple of races ago were supposed to make them really competitive, but that it really hasn't turned out that way. Have they improved a little bit? Yes. Have they improved a lot? No. So anyway, let's say we got 10 minutes to go, 9 minutes to go now. And so your guys at the bottom end are Gasly, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Sergio Perez, there's a surprise, and Piastri. And Alonso again has just put in a 1:30 and taken over the fastest time. Just so that you know, this Silverstone track, which has been around a long time, it is the fastest track in terms of raw speed and everything on the Formula One circuit. So the drivers love to drive it, and the spectators and the TV crews and the TV audience love to watch this race at Silverstone. So, and you know, really, of course, for those folks that are new to Formula One, Formula One was actually organized in 1949, and that was the first year of the championships. And back then, in the early days, they used to have, in fact, when I was a kid, that is where I would listen to it on the radio, because I grew up in a house with no water, no electricity, no heat, no nothing. So we did have a radio, and so we could listen to it on the radio. And at those days, it was at Brands Hatch. So that was in the 60s, but and it didn't really become a permanent home. And we'll just break that off. Verstappen now has just turned in the fastest time, so that's really not a big surprise. What has happened is all those guys that were on the intermediate tires quickly found out that it was not the best tire to get out there on. So now everybody is on the soft tire. So if you watch my podcasts or live here, especially last week, you'll know that this little podcast room that I sit in up here and do these podcasts, there's something in here that hates me, and it really, you know, I get little itches on my ears and my nose, and it's like allergies all over. This podcast room is actually in my house, and it's not a large house, but it's a nice house with quite a few rooms, but this is the only room that seems to affect me. Maybe I should think about changing the podcast room, but it's nice and comfortable, and it suffices just nicely. Other than it hates me, but I'm sure over time we'll become good friends. And now we're watching Alex Albon. Where is he? Where is the Williams? He's all the way at the whoa! He's really struggling to hold that car on the track right there. The track has dried out a bit from when it first started, when they first started this qualifying session. I'm not seeing so much water coming up for any place now on the track. It is raining gently, and so right now, Alex Albon would he's come in at 12th right now, but Logan Sargent is on an outlap, and if they can't get in a fast lap on these soft tires, then these times right now they're gonna hold up, and this is gonna be it. They're doing a replay of Alex Albon here where he nearly lost it going through the turn. He hit a damp spot, so you can see on the TV, you can see the different parts of the track that are damp and wet and stuff like that. But there's nowhere that I'm seeing now is there any real water on the track. And Hulkenberg just about lost it as well. So tire and grip, and actually looking at the Logan Sargent wheels there, in fact they are. He's taken a shortcut across the grass. So I think he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it into Q2 unless something dramatic changes for him very quickly. Oh, what is going on there? Who is De Vries? Jesus, so poor. That might cost the Alpine team some serious points. De Vries overtook the McLaren of Piastri, no, of not Piastri, of Lando Norris on the inside. All right, so right now, whoa, so both of the Williams are at the bottom of the pack right now. Albon, I guess, Albon's in the pit, and there's a lot of teams now going to the intermediate tires, including Verstappen just coming into the pits. But I think that the times that are out here on the no, it's Sergio Perez. Sorry, I haven't got the helmets right so far today. So anyway, I don't see any way that these cars coming in on the intermediates are going to improve any on the lap times that they already have. So, and we've got a yellow flag. The yellow flag is in sector 3, but who is it and what happened? Oh, it's a Haas car, and it's just died. It's just died on the track. So this is going to be a red flag, and this is going to be the end of Q1. That is going to put both the Williams cars out of Q2. It's going to put Magnussen out, Joe Granu and Valtteri Bottas out. And you've got we've got the team principal of Haas shaking his head, but it's good for MoneyGram. They're going to get themselves on TV again, and it's like I said, MoneyGram made the best investment they could make on advertisement, sponsoring these Haas cars, because they are on TV all the time. Not necessarily for the good reasons for Haas, but at least for MoneyGram, they are really doing a good job. So they've stopped the clock. They've red flagged it and stopped the clock. So I'm wondering if they're actually going to have normally when they red flag, the clock keeps going, but in this case it's stopped. So we may get another 3-4 minutes, 3 minutes and 11 seconds of and that's Kevin Magnussen's car that died on the track. We might get another 3.5 seconds of qualifying in. So that would be enough time for the Williams cars to get back out there and turn in a couple of decent laps, at least enough to get them into Q2. So now we've got a delay in action. So why don't we take another moment here and and thank our sponsors. Thynology at thynology.com is a data center in Austin, Texas. They provide co-location. They provide private cloud, public cloud, and good old-fashioned storage for all you technical guys out there. We've got all of the latest and greatest technologies on the, and when I say we, I'm talking about Thynology, of course. They have all of the latest and greatest technologies for your public cloud needs as well as your private cloud needs. Storage is there's storage aplenty, lots and lots of room for storage. So please give the folks at Thynology a call. You can look them up at the web at thynology.com. And we'd like to thank GiveSendGo. GiveSendGo, a crowdfunding entity. They're a little different. There's a couple of crowdfunding entities out there. The thing about GiveSendGo is there is no censorship. They don't censor anyone for any reason as to why or what you need money, or you're contributing to somebody else that needs money for. Could be for medical expenses. It could be that they are the main entity behind Mr. Penny, that poor guy in New York that's been brought up on manslaughter charges for being a good Samaritan. But that's where politics has come into play. But you need to go to givesendgo.com. That is givesendgo.com. And of course, you can also use them for raising money for a venture, or contribute to raising money for a venture that a friend or a family member is embarking on. So that is GiveSendGo at givesendgo.com. And they are right now, they're picking up the horse car and sticking it on the back of a flatbed. And from high on the helicopter here, you can actually see the really wet spot, let's say damp spots and really dry spots of the track. And there is a lane there there is a lane there where the cars have cut into the track, and they're just showing Ocon, who just about rear-ended one of the Alfa Romeos. I don't know who that was, but for whatever reason the Alfa Romeo had come nearly to a stop. And of course, you know, the last thing you need is a car that's kind of in the way on the track that's almost stopped. It's very dangerous. So anyway, we want to get now to thank our third sponsor for this week, and that is Moms for Liberty. Moms for Liberty is an organization founded a few years ago by a couple of ladies who really want to encourage parents to get more involved with their school boards, get more involved with the education of their children. As we've noticed the last 2 to 3 years, especially here, maybe a little more, but 2 to 3 years for sure, we've seen a large increase in the reduction in time being spent teaching math and English and science and all those things that are really going to help out the kids as they grow into adulthood and may want to go on to college, or even if they want to become plumbers or electricians, bricklayers. You've got to be really good at mathematics to be a bricklayer. And so Moms for Liberty is an organization that's trying to get all of the parents involved and get them to partake in their children's education. So please support them. Go to momsforliberty.org. momsforliberty.org. They've got lots of local chapters. If you Google them, you'll find that there's probably a chapter in your area. So that is momsforliberty.org. We're looking at pictures of the crowd right now. It's quite windy. That's going to affect the cars a little bit, but also, you know, it's a really warm day in the UK if it's 70 degrees, right? It's a really cold day here in Austin, Texas if it's 70 degrees. We've all got our jackets on and our winter woolies. But over there, it's a warm day, and just looking at the crowd, because it is drizzling, there is some light rain passing through, and you know, the odd cloud that drops a little bit. Some of them are in short sleeve shirts, and some of them are all wrapped up in their jackets and everything. That would be me. I'd be all wrapped up in my jacket. Even though I grew up in the hills, right on the border of England and Scotland, where the average temperature year round was 48 degrees. And if it got up to 60 degrees when I was a kid, you know, we'd take our shirt off and go sunbathing if the sun was out. But even if the sun wasn't out, we'd take our shirts off, you know, be working, baling hay or pulling in the cows to feed them, or rounding up sheep or whatever. I mean, 60 degrees to us was a really warm day. Today, 60 degrees and I'm freezing my tail off and I won't leave the house. Well, that's not really true, but for me it's still pretty chilly. We've got all the cars lined up now. They've got that car off the track, so I believe we're going to go back to, and we're going to get 3 minutes and 11 seconds more of free practice in, not free practice, sorry, of qualifying in here in the next 4 to 5 minutes. And they're showing the radar. The track is going to get dumped on here in about 5 to 10 minutes by the looks of it. So, but fortunately it's moving fast. so it'll be a brief dump on. I'm looking at the tires here, and I can't tell because I can't see the helmet of whether it's Verstappen or Perez, but they are on the slicks. So, and what are they doing? It's Max Verstappen's car. Oh, he's broken his nose cone off. They've broken the nose cone off. How did that happen? He's been sitting there in the pits for the last 10 minutes. And Verstappen's car, and they're swapping out that nose cone very quickly. Like I said, it doesn't take them long. But they're having a little difficulty because the one that's broken appears to be jammed and they can't get it off. There they go. They've got it now. So, and I'll give you some idea. It's crazy how strong these things are. But one guy just picked up the nose cone. Oh, I see. He came out of the pits and hit the wall. Yeah, I just understeered and it just didn't grip. Oh, so he was coming out of the pits and his car didn't turn and he hit the wall. So, but that, of course, he's blaming the car, but in fact that's a driver error thing because in this case he should have come out of the pits at a speed where he wouldn't have that issue. So it just shows you the best in the world can have little mishaps every now and then. And they're just showing a beautiful little girl there on TV in her shirt sleeves, of course. And her dad, of course. Her dad's got a big old thick jacket on. It's probably not big and thick, but he's got a jacket on with sleeves and everything. And he's holding his little baby girl there. She's probably 3-4 years old. And all she has is a little t-shirt. So that little incident for Max has put him all the way at the back of the restart. And we are going to get restarted again in 30 seconds. So Sergio Perez is going to come out first, and I don't know whether I'd want to be first actually, because I'd rather be Max Verstappen, because all those 19 cars ahead, they're going to pick up a lot of that water and get rid of it. So if I was lining up there, I would prefer to be in Max Verstappen's position versus Sergio Perez, and they are taking out onto the track. They'll have a little warm up lap, and then they'll have an out lap, and then they will go for their qualifying session. So they're going to literally, they're going to have an out lap, and then they got 3 minutes. So yeah, they can have a warm up lap, and then an out lap, and then they'll have one qualifying lap. So that's it. They're going to be down to one qualifying lap. So Max Verstappen is still sitting there waiting to get going. The other cars are halfway around the track, so let's see what happens here. It's going to be interesting. They've all got slick, so the drivers are happy with the track in terms of its wetness or dampness or not thereof. And one of the Ferraris is being smart. He's letting a couple of cars that actually was his teammate somewhere else go ahead of him, and I think that's a smart play because, like I said, they'll pick up that water and they'll throw that water off and make the track drier for the cars on the back. So that's the play that I would take if I was them. So. Anyway, sorry, my allergies are starting to kick in a little bit, so you'll have to excuse me. But the track it does look dry. With that radar they showed of the rainstorm, or maybe that's it. I see it in the distance coming over it right now. So they are going to get this qualifying session 1 in on the dry. Whether or not that rain passes through, gets out, and gets back, and the track dries out again. We have about 10 minutes between each qualifying session. So right now, the folks that are on the bubble is Hülkenberg, Magnussen, of course, his car's not running, Joe Granu, Logan Sargent, Valtteri Bottas, and Alex Albon, which is really strange. Well, Alex Albon now, he's just put in the fastest sector. So he's flying around this track right now. Sergio Perez has not improved at all. But let's see, where's Logan Sargent? He hasn't improved. And let's see. So They're showing Alex Albon now. They're not showing his second sec. There they are. So he's a 3,000th of a second under coming out of sector 2. He's into sector 3. So let's see. He should be coming. We've got Verstappen's got the fastest time right now at 1:30. So let's see where Alex Albon. Sergio Perez now has come across at 1:29. Alex Albon is now taken he's come from dead last to dead first. He's got the fastest lap at 1:29.466. Logan Sargent has come in right behind him. What is going on with these Williams cars? Look, there's Valtteri Bottas at 1:29. This is crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Perez, Joe Granu now has come in 5th fastest. And then Verstappen, they should be showing him on an outlap. But let's see. Lando Norris now has come in at a 1:28, so he has taken over the fastest lap. So the British crowd has gone crazy about that. Piastri is there at number 5. So right now we've got Stroll, Lance Stroll has just come in at a 1:29. This is exciting stuff, guys, because we've got all of the teams that we didn't expect making it to the top of qualifying 1, and the teams that we expected to be really fast. Right now, Verstappen is on the bubble, and Hulkenberg now has come in at 4th fastest. Perez is now 9th fastest, and driver at risk is Hamilton and Russell now at the top. This is amazingly, and where's Verstappen? Verstappen just saved himself. This is the best. Yellow flag in sector 2, but this is the most exciting qualifying session we've had it in a long time. And we've got the Valtteri Bottas Alfa Romeo off. So where is he right now? Valtteri Bottas, where is he? He's 11th, so he will make it to Q2. And if this is going to end Q1, Perez, Tsunoda, Joe Granu, De Vries, and Magnussen, who's in the pits, is not going to get into Q2. Just Sergio Perez, just plain unlucky with that one. Gone from the fastest time to being eliminated. So I would imagine that we're going to see the clock is on 0. I'm speechless. We got Norris, got Leclerc at number 2, so that's pretty good. Then Russell and Hamilton, where did they suddenly find the speed? Then Verstappen, then Lance Stroll, then Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, Hulkenberg, and Esteban Ocon. So that is just crazy. At the bottom end, where is Russell? George Russell is 3rd. That's right. So where did Mercedes suddenly find that speed? So that maybe that strategy of having Verstappen all the way at the back didn't really pay off. And so anyway, we've got some very interesting stuff going on. So I think what we'll do here while we're going between sessions is let's take a look at see how the tennis is going, and let's they've got Tsitsipas going. Let's see, there was Carlos Alcaraz was playing the Brazilian right where I was watching that before the race came on. Got to flip through here. ESPN's got a bunch of channels showing the different matches now. It's really neat. The outer courts now are all televised, so you can catch your favorite tennis player on the thing. So let's see, what do we got? Alcaraz, they're into a tiebreaker in the second set. Alcaraz is up 6-5. They're on serve, and Jarry is so it's 6-6. So let's see, and on court 18, the young American Eubanks, who's having an incredible run also at Wimbledon this year, He's tied with the Australian O'Connell in the first set. They're in a tiebreaker, but Eubanks is up 5-2. So let's just stay here for a moment and see if Alcaraz is able to pull off this second set. He was down a break in the second set when the Formula One qualifying started. So let's see if Jarry, who's the young man from Chile, let's see if he can hold on and actually win this set. No matter what it is, I mean the gap in tennis these days, it's kind of like Formula One. The gap now in Formula One is closing dramatically. The same in tennis. The other day we had the number 138 player in the world playing Alcaraz, the number one, and he gave him 3 really good sets. And now Jarry has set point. But it is Alcaraz serve, so we'll see what happens here. They're showing a picture of Jarry's box right now. There, because Jarry was out of tennis for a year because he was suspended, and he came back in the last 6-8 months. He came back from, I think, number 138 in the world, and he's number in the top 50 now, 58, I think. But just think about this: the 58th player in the world is giving the number 1 player in the world all he can handle, and he just might win this set here. And we're right in the midst of a commercial. So going back to the way the cars are tightening up here, it's going to make for a very, very exciting season. I don't think we're going to see any real threat on the Red Bull under race conditions. Because if you've listened to my podcasts before, when they're out in qualifying and free practice and stuff like that, they don't put as much fuel in the car, and they have DRS and all these other things available to them. So you'll always see in qualifying, you'll see lap times anywhere from 3-4 seconds to 5-6 seconds faster than the race under race conditions. And that's because under race conditions, you know, they've got a full tank of fuel when they start. The setup's slightly different. They can only use DRS when they're within 1 second of the car in front of them. So there's always there's always that time difference, 4 or 5 seconds typically between practice and race times. So the setup that these Red Bull cars seem to enjoy in race conditions over the rest of the field is still very dominant. Although it's going to be interesting this week. Last week we saw Alex Albon make some head roads, and the week before he's been in the top 10 now for a couple of weeks, a couple of races in a row. So it's going to be interesting because they've made some changes to the rear spoilers on that car, and it's obvious by the additional speed that they're getting. So it's really interesting to see the tightening. It's interesting here to see the excuse me, to see the tightening of the Mercedes coming up in practice or in qualifying here, and they're showing a replay of these guys. What they're doing, I don't know, but they're almost running into each other. It's crazy, isn't it? Top drivers in the world, and they're almost running into each other. And so the car of Leclerc was complaining. I'm sorry, the car, Leclerc, and then Leclerc just went ahead of Carlos Sainz in the pits on the outlap for some reason. So anyway, we should be getting going here pretty quickly on qualifying session number 2. They're showing Valtteri Bottas. His car just died. It's interesting. Seems to be going along. He's stuck in second gear, and then it just died. So anyway, they're giving live shots back, and they were giving replays there of Valtteri Bottas and what happened to him at the end of Q2. So it's it's going to be interesting to see what happens here and what the outcome at Q2. What's going to be really interesting today, I think, is who is going to be on the pole. I don't think, you know, under qualifying conditions, I don't think that Verstappen is a shoe-in for pole. You know, it could well be an Aston Martin. We've seen both Aston Martins really pulling in some really good times here at the qualifying session number 1, and we've seen the Williams cars turning in some really good times, and Lando Norris. Piastri doesn't seem to have got the handle on the upgrades to that car yet, but certainly Lando Norris is showing that McLaren, the upgrades that they've made to that car are significant, and they're really good. So anyway, it's they're just showing a replay right now, actually, of Lando Norris putting in his fast lap, and the track is dry for the most part. There are still some damps, but in fact he just went over one right there, but for the most part the track is dry, and and they've just stopped the replay for I said they're going to show him going through the turn. Let's see, he's trying to point out, he hasn't gone outside of track limits, so I don't know what what he's doing. They've got, you know, they have this board there on the track, and if you've ever, well, you have to be down in the media center in the pit lane area to see, but if you watch it on TV, they've got a board where they can make it, they can go slow motion, they can wind back, they can stop, they can go, and then they have a former driver explain to you exactly, you know, what's happening and why it happened and things like that. But it's a nice, interesting piece of technology, and they got that thing just sitting out. They have a paddock in the press area down there, not the press area, just down there, where in the news media section on race days and stuff like that, people can pay a lot of money to go down there and get selfies and hobnob and talk to the drivers and stuff like that if they'll stop and talk. But this and it cannot be cheap. Piece of equipment is just sitting out there. And if you could see it here at Silverstone, it's you can just see the TV screen. I'd like to know what they call. I'll have to look up and see what they call that little piece of equipment. We're seeing Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen on a replay here from, is it from previous years? Who knows? Anyway, we've got a nice overhead helicopter shot, and you can see where the cars have been on the track. It is dry. There's no doubt about it. Where the cars have not been on the track, and it looks like they might have a blower down there blowing out drying up the track, and they're showing a slow-mo of Checo Perez, who did not get out of Q1, which that's obviously very, very disappointing for him and for Red Bull, because that means he's going to be stopped, and he's going to start, you know, in the back of the pack. Now, last week he started all the way back in 15th position and made it all the way up into, was it third? No, it was third. Made it all the way up to third. So he shown he can drive up through the pack and get up there. Can he get from? I think I saw him. He was in 18th position. Can he get from the second last row on the grid up to a podium finish? If if that was Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc, I would say that's a good possibility. Although Checo did come last year or the year before, which is one of the reasons that Red Bull took him on, is he came from dead last and won the race. I believe that was in Saudi Arabia. So he does have the skill set, but it seems like he's lost a little bit from where he was even the beginning of the season. First 3 or 4 races, in fact, he was giving Max Verstappen a run for his money on the World Championship. And so I just saw a thing come on there saying there is not going to be any more rain, so we're going to have dry tyres. Q2 has just started, it's 15 minutes. And so the cars are coming out onto the track. Some of them now are about halfway around. The skies look like they might dump rain any moment, but they're saying no rain. And at least the drivers are. So, and who is that? One of the McLarens just about lost it. And that sky looks awful dark. And now it's taken from a helicopter, so there's no telling how far away it is. But it certainly looks like it's going to rain. And I got my kids texting me. I was helping my daughter this morning. She's an artist, and she's got a booth at a little town called Georgetown where they have market days. So she's up there displaying her artwork and hoping to sell it. Of course, she doesn't sell the artwork that's actually there. She just hopes to get commissions to do artwork, which she's still a college student, but she does quite nicely at doing it. Let's see, we got Max Verstappen talking here, but they're not going to show what he's saying. It just drives me nuts when they put on the TV, conversations from the driver. When you actually hear it, it's the sound is so bad that it's just impossible to make out really what the drivers are saying, unless they do it on a replay where it kind of slows everything down. You don't have so much of the noise. So anyway, we've got a bunch of them on their outlaps now, and let's see that they're showing Alonso going through the cars. Do not look like they're sticking that well to the track. That's interesting that they're doing that they're slipping like that, because the track does not look like it is wet. So all right, so we're going to get our first times coming in here in just a moment. We're going to see Alonso, Albon and Leclerc turn in their times in about 30 seconds. We're at 1:03 for Alonso through. He's just done the fastest sector in sector 2. Excuse me. So let's see what kind of a time he's going to turn in. We're at 1:15. So let's see. Another 10 seconds to go, and he looks like he's sticking to the track nicely, though. He's got that fastest sector, and Leclerc now has just turned in the fastest sector in sector 2. And Alonso comes in. Everybody's on soft tires. Alonso comes in now with a they've taken the time away. Then Lance Stroll is in second place. So Logan Sargent has come in and third fastest. And Alex Albon has just outdone his teammate with a 1:30. Charles Leclerc has just come out. Lando Norris. So now the other cars are coming in. So right now we've got Norris, Leclerc, Hülkenberg, and Alonso. And at the bottom end we don't have any times yet, so we got to wait for those to come in as they start coming across the line. Esteban Ocon has just come in third fastest. George Russell, fourth fastest. Leclerc now has slipped down to fifth, and Albon is all the way down to 10th. So Logan Sargent is, well, they're not showing any time for him. So Lewis Hamilton now has dropped down to 8th. Max Verstappen just came in as second, but got pushed back down to third. So like I said, we might not see Max Verstappen on the pole, and this could not be a good day for Red Bull. I'm sure tomorrow is going to be a good day for Red Bull. I don't think there's much chance that Verstappen is not going to win it unless something goes bad. But right now during qualifying, it's really good to see. We got the Alfa Romeo. I mean, we got the Alfa Romeos up there the Alpines. Sorry, we got the Alpines. Sorry, I'm struggling with the the logos that they put on the side of them. So we got the Alpines in good shape, 2nd and 6th. We've got Verstappen in 3rd. We've got Lando Norris right now sitting in 1st position. At the bottom end, the guys that might not make it through to Q2 if the times were to hold up, both of the Aston Martins, both of the Williams, and Valtteri Bottas. I don't know if I've seen Valtteri Bottas's car out there since, if you remember, it died at the end of qualifying session number 1. But he had the 10th or 11th fastest time. Maybe he was better than that. So his time held him up to get into Q2. So right now they're showing Alonso doing his lap. Does not appear to be making up any time. Lance Stroll also is right there, not making any time. Now Alonso has just turned in the fastest 2nd sector time, so that's going to get him out of that bottom 5, and it's going to put him up very close to the top guy, maybe a little faster. He might even have the fastest lap at this stage. So Lance Stroll is just seems to be holding his own, but let's see what happens. And Alonso just turned in the fastest time. So this, to me, this is really good news. I mean, that we're having all of these different guys, and Lance Stroll just turned in 8th. So for me, it's really good news that we've got some serious competition. And Logan Sargent now has just popped up into 10th. Where's Alex Albon? He hasn't put in his time. Clerk just turned in the fastest. Alex Albon just turned in the 2nd fastest time. So we still got 7 minutes and 50 seconds left in Q2. So we're going to see a lot of time changing going on around here. But the bottom 5 right now are both Mercedes, Hülkenberg and Logan Sargent. And like I say, Valtteri Bottas, I don't think Valtteri Bottas is going to turn in any time. I don't think he can get that car out. So he will start on the 15th position. Unless they manage to fix that car in the next 7 minutes. And we've got Norris, Ocon, Hülkenberg and Bottas in the pits. Who are we watching here? This looks like a Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, who is currently in 13th position, which will not get him into Q1 if that time holds up for him. Lance Stroll just dropped down to 13th and Hamilton moved up to 12th. Let's see, right now we just had that's why Lance Stroll just had his time deleted for exceeding track limits. So in the qualifying, if you exceed track limits, you get your time taken away from you. In the race, if you exceed track limits, they'll let you get away with it up to 3 times, and then they put out a black and white flag. And then if you do it one more time, you get black flagged. If you get black flagged, then you lose 5 seconds. So you have to serve a 5-second penalty. And you have to go into the pits to serve that penalty. So some people just wait till the end of the race, especially if they get black flagged, you know, in the last 5 or 10 laps of the race. They'll just carry on till the end of the race. But as we saw last week, Nicky Tsunoda. Where is Nicky Tsunoda today? I haven't really seen him. Anyway, Nicky Tsunoda went into the pits, did not serve his penalty, so got another 5-second penalty for not serving the penalty. So Nicky Tsunoda just had a terrible week last week, and I didn't see him. He must have been in the. He must not have made it out of Q1, but it's strange. I hadn't noticed his name up on the board. Anyway, right now, Lewis Hamilton just turned in the fastest first sector, so let's see what ends up happening for him there. We're actually on board with him right now, and there's our go. There's some interesting stuff. So Verstappen came in with the fastest lap, and then now Piastri in the McLaren has just turned in the fastest lap. So, excuse me. Might have to run between sessions. I might have to run down and get another cup of tea. Anyway, let's see. So where's Russell going to come in? It's these drivers love this track because it's so fast. But everybody's in the pits right now, with the exception of we got Russell, Norris, Piastri, Verstappen. Hamilton just turned in the fastest time. Way to go. We are seeing competition, folks. We are seeing good old-fashioned competition. But it's 128. I think pole position will be in the 126. Let's see how far. Let's see how far off I am. But I'm thinking 126 is going to be 126 something is going to be pole. The track is drying out. The grip is getting better. The drivers are getting more familiar with the conditions on the track. If you remember earlier, I said it was windy. That of course, and I'm just seeing some raindrops on the camera lens. Windy conditions has a big effect as well on these cars. So Lando Norris just turned in a 128. So right now, the top 5 is Norris, Hamilton, Piastri, Verstappen, and Russell. The bottom 5 are Hülkenberg, Stroll, Sargent, and Bottas. So Bottas is, like I say, he's not coming out. He's not coming out. So they're fixing whatever was wrong with his car. Interesting stuff. So we've still got out. Everybody's back out. With the in the top 10, with the exception of Piastri, he's in the pits. But all the rest are out. Charles Leclerc. Where is he? He's down in 8th. Both Ferraris are a little slow, I guess, today. 8th and 9th. Probably not getting the grip on this track that they had been hoping for. I'd read some stuff coming into the week during free practice that they thought that they had taken some of the downforce off the Ferraris that would give them, faster straight speeds down the straights. And there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one really good long straight there where it could make a difference. But there's 3 other spots that are pretty straight where it could also make a difference. Maybe 0.2 of a second, which is huge. Excuse me. 0.2 of a second is huge. Yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be very, very interesting coming out here. We've got 2 minutes left in Q2. Right now, you've got Norris, Hamilton, Piastri, Verstappen, and Russell, and all those guys are on the outlaps, by the way, right now. So they're coming in. Now they're going. They've just come across the start-finish lines to start their lap times. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Like I said, I think that as this track dries out and that big black clouds and everything that I saw earlier has now given away to broken clouds and sunshine, so this track is going to get drier. So I really think a 126 is what, somewhere in that 126 is what we're going to see for pole position. Leclerc's just turned in. Whoa, they're racing each other during qualifying. I just saw one of the Alpine cars just about wipe out. Who is that? I've lost him now. So Leclerc now has just turned in. He's second fastest, 128.3. That's a 0.3 of a second. That's a lot. His teammate just outdid him. Carlos Sainz, Alex Albon. Alex Albon now has turned in the second fastest time. We'll turn my phone off here for a second. Turned in the second fastest time. So he's going to be into Q3. Where is Verstappen? Verstappen's down in 8th right now. Oh, he's going to turn in the fastest time. He's got the fastest first sector and the fastest second sector right now. So unless something dramatic happens in the third sector. Verstappen's going to come in, I'm thinking at a low 128 or 127, 127.7. So like I said, I think pole position is going to be in 126. So right now, Gasly, Ocon, Hülkenberg, and Stroll are not going to make it. Stroll's got a chance here, but I don't think he's going to make it into Q1. We've got a few left to come. Hamilton and Russell, wow. You know, it seemed like when they were turning in the fastest times, they were so fast. Hamilton is about the 0.8 of a second behind Verstappen, and Russell is a full second behind. It's mind-boggling. And yet we've got Piastri and Norris right up there. Both McLarens in second and third. You've got Albon in fourth, followed by the Ferraris. Then you've got Alonso. And Gasly just pushed Russell to the bubble. So let's see who can get him. Maybe Lance Stroll can get him, can push him out of there. But we see them coming back into the pits. So it's going to be really interesting here. So Russell survives. The guys that did not survive are Hülkenberg, Stroll, Ocon, Sargent, and of course Valtteri Bottas, who was stuck in the pits. So very, very interesting stuff, guys. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 different manufacturers in the top 10. That's really good. It's really good. Normally we've got about 3 or 4. And we just saw why the Alpine... Oh! How that Alpine didn't take out that Aston Martin, I have no idea. It was Lance Stroll. Let's see what happens here. It's just crazy. What happened was the Alpine lost it going into the turn. He's locked up his wheels. It's Esteban Ocon, and he comes back onto the track, and he is skidding. I mean, skidding along. And his both front wheels locked up to avoid taking out Lance Stroll altogether. Just crazy, crazy. Interesting. So we've come to the end of Q2. We're going to go back and get Q3 in just a moment. I'm going to get myself a quick another cup of tea, and I will be right back. And so please stay with us, folks. Our sponsors really want you to give them a shout and help generate some business for them. We've got Thenology at thenology.com. We've got Give Send Go at givesendgo.com, and of course Moms for Liberty at momsforliberty.org. That is momsforliberty.org. And I will be right back in 5 minutes. Okay, folks, we are back, and just perfect timing there. Got a cup of tea, and Q3 is just beginning. 12 minutes left in the qualifying session, and we will find out who will be on pole for the British Grand Prix tomorrow. So let's see who's out there first. We got, looks like a Mercedes, followed by a Aston Martin. So anyway, it looks like the track, as I mentioned in qualifying session 2, has dried out even more. And so I think I'm saying, I said in Q2 that I thought that pole time would be in the 126. So Verstappen put in a 127.7 at the end of Q2. So can he make? Can he get another second somewhere in qualifying 3? One, I think if he wants to be on pole, he's going to have to, because these cars of the McLaren and Alex Albon's Williams car are fast. I mean, they are fast. They're faster than the Ferraris. And the other interesting thing, you know, is Alonso, up until last week, he'd been on the podium every week. And this last week and now this week, it looks like he's lost some pace. So I don't know if it's Alonso that's lost some pace, or if it is in fact the way the car is set up that has lost some pace. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting 10 minutes here. They're not even on an out lap. They're still doing their warm-up laps. A couple of minutes there. It's really interesting though, when you look at the cameras, you can see way off in the distance. You can see really black, dirty black clouds. But over the track, the sun is shining, and that's all that's important for the drivers. And now we have the first lap. Timed lap coming in for Q3 qualifying, and it is Mr. Hamilton and then Alex Albon and then Lando Norris that have come across the start-finish line first. Hamilton has already dropped time off that 1:27.7 that Verstappen turned in. So it's going to be interesting to see where it ends up. But like I said, I was very excuse me, I was very surprised where Verstappen ended up at the end of Q2. I mean, he came in at 8th and George Russell at 10th, and yet at one time they turned in, just maybe 5 minutes before, they turned in the fastest lap. So it's going to be an interesting 10 minutes here. Actually, 8 minutes and 24 seconds to be exact. Lando, this really nice. Alex Albon has just turned in the fastest second sector time. They were doing some analysis earlier between Max Verstappen and Alex Albon, and in lots of parts on the track, the Alex Albon was actually faster than Max Verstappen, and Max Verstappen's just turned in the 2 fastest sectors. So Hamilton came in at a 1:27.7, so he kind of matched Verstappen's time from Q2. Verstappen now is at 1:27.084. So what did I say? 1:26. He's gonna lose another 1/4 second after that. It's crazy. Hamilton is, everybody else is half a second. 0.6 tenths. Piastri's done a really nice job. He's just come up in P3, but so Hamilton right now is sitting in P2, 6 tenths of a second behind, so more than half a second. And the way these cars are set up and things, half a second is an incredible amount of time. You know, you got imagine this, you got a 75 lap race that he's going to win the race by over 30 seconds. So it's crazy, just crazy. The 2 Ferraris have come in 4th and 5th, and Alex Albon now has dropped back to 7th, but he was 3rd. Alonso turned in an all-right time, 7 tenths out. Pierre Gasly right at 9th. George Russell a full second behind. Lando Norris is 1.3 seconds behind. So, and Piastri just came on and asked them to come. He's going to pit. Asked them to check his floor. They actually do it with sensors. They don't jack the car out and climb underneath and look at the floor. But he lost it. Let's say they're going to show a replay here of where he lost it. Oh, he went over the curb big time. Yeah. So yeah, he bottomed it out. So he wants him to check on that. So damn, the time's flying by. 5 minutes and 41 seconds. Right now, provisional pole is Max Verstappen. And I was hoping that maybe we would have somebody different. So they're all in the pits right now. They're all making those final adjustments to get maybe 1-2 good laps more out of it. But if it was to start, if it was to end like this, then you'd have Verstappen and Hamilton on the front row, and then you would have Piastri and Leclerc on the second row, and then Sainz and Alonso on the third row. Alex Albon is in 7th position right now, and I think last week he finished the race either in, actually I think after the penalties had been handed out, he finished 7th. So he's doing an amazing job for Williams, and Williams is doing an amazing job of working, getting that car to be fast. Just crazy, crazy good. Lots of, oh, I know what it was. Lewis Hamilton came out with a quote-unquote special hat to so people would be noticed, and it's like a really bright turquoise green. And his business partner is going to be very happy because he sold a lot of them. Everybody in the crowd is wearing a Lewis Hamilton Mercedes hat today. So I don't know, what do they get for those things? 35, 40 bucks at the Formula One store. When we were at the Formula One race last weekend, they were selling T-shirts for $75. That was the Haas team was selling a T-shirt for $75. Not just them, and you know, these are the quality. The quality was quite good, but not $75 quality. So it's a bragging shirt, right? You can say, well, I bought this at the Circuit of the Americas. I watched Max Verstappen win, and I watched Lance Stroll take out Alonso, and Alonso still came in 5th. So it's kind of a bragging right. So they're giving the previous polls: Carlos Sainz, Hamilton, Bottas. So for the last 5 years, I don't think it's certainly not going to be Carlos Sainz. He's down there in 5th position right now. So they're coming back out right now. They're going to do their out laps, and then we're going to have one more fast lap. And so my prediction was it was going to be in the 1:26. And right now, Max Verstappen is 0.008 of a second away from making me look like I'm a really smart guy. That would be really good. It's if you just understand and watch some of the strategies that are going on, you can pretty much guess good guesses at exactly, you know, where things are and where they stand. But you have to do it, you know, for quite a few races. You can't just watch one race or 2 races and say, okay, this is what's going to happen. You got to watch the team strategies and watch the drivers and watch the weather. The weather plays a big part. Even if it's bright sunshine, the weather can play a big part, because sometimes too much bright sunshine can have an adverse effect on the car and the track, and it does have an adverse effect on the track. Of course, the track heats up terribly. You know, over here in Austin, we can't walk our dogs after 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, not 9 o'clock in the morning, because the temperatures on the ground are too hot for the dog's feet. So it's very interesting. We're watching a Ferrari and a Mercedes racing each other. No, probably not. Who is that? I think that's Lewis Hamilton. No, yeah, it is Lewis Hamilton. Where's George Russell? We haven't seen a lot of George. He's been pretty quiet today. So everybody's on that out lap. Leclerc is now he's the first one to cross the start finish line to come up on his attempt to get pole, and this will be it. This is the last lap of qualifying for pole position. So let's see how they're going to do. We got Leclerc, Sainz, Russell. Leclerc has just turned in the fastest first sector time. So he's off to a good start. Verstappen's still on his out lap, so he hasn't made back across the start finish line. He will though. Leclerc is always very good, very fast in the qualifying sessions. He gets pole position. It's in the race and the strategies where it kinds of falls down. Sainz and Russell are not making up any time at all. So Russell's currently in 9th and Sainz is in 5th. Leclerc lost time in the second sector, and now is just 1,000th of a second faster than Verstappen's 1.27084. And like I said, I think Verstappen's going to do a 1:26. Let's see what Leclerc does. Leclerc does 1:27. Oh, he was 500th of a second slower than Verstappen. So, and Carlos Sainz is in third. George Russell came in fourth. Let's see. We got Alonso is coming in at fifth, and here comes Hamilton. Hamilton just bumped Alonso to sixth. And Norris just came across with provisional pole. Way to go, Norris. Lando Norris just bumped Verstappen out, but Verstappen has yet to come across the start-finish line. And here he comes now. And I'm a genius, folks. I'm a genius. 1:26.72 is the time for Verstappen. So your front row will be Verstappen, Norris, and then Piastri, Leclerc. Way to go, McLaren, second and third. And then there will be the two Ferraris, then the two Mercedes, then Alex Albon in eighth with Alonso. That's a slow time for Alonso, nearly a second behind at Gasly. And the folks at McLaren are rightfully celebrating big time. I mean, that is, they got second and third spots, and Verstappen, like I said, predicted, came in at a 1:26.720, which so tomorrow we're going to be seeing lap times of around 1:31, 1:32. So anyway, folks, that kind of ends the qualifying session for pole position for the British Grand Prix tomorrow. I'm going to spend some rest of my day as McLaren celebrates. I'm going to spend the rest of my day watching a little bit of tennis. I'm going to go up and visit my daughter, who is showing off at a little festival thing up in Georgetown, Texas. I'm going to sit with her and enjoy the sunshine. It's not too hot here today. It's in the high 80s right now, but it's only expected to get into the middle 90s, so that's nice and cool. Enjoy the sunshine. I know a lot of folks, if they come in 95-degree weather, they can't go outside. It's just too hot. And of course, we have friends, and my daughter and son have friends that come in from up north from school and suffer through that. But anyway, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors again. Thenology at thenology.com. If you need a data center for co-location, public cloud, private cloud, storage, disaster recovery, then Thenology is your go-to place for all those services. So please give Thenology a call at thenology.com. Give, Send, Go. If you need to raise money for friends, you need to raise money for yourself, you want to help out other people that have come across hard times. If you want to do business with a really nice company that has zero censorship policies and things like that, then you need to be on Give, Send, Go. It is givesendgo.com. Again, that is givesendgo.com. And folks, please, if we've got any parents out there, please join the folks at Moms for Liberty. Get involved at your school board. Get involved with your kids' education. We need our kids learning math and science and English. We do not want them going to school wondering if they're a boy or a girl. It's just stupidity, it's crazy to think also that we can let boys into girls' sports. Title IX at the college level was created to specifically protect girls and get the girls' sports financed and things like that, and to allow some of these men to compete with the women is just ridiculous. Just because they wake up one day and they say, "Oh, I'm a girl." So anyway, please. I think they've got about 183 chapters throughout the country. So there's a chapter near you. Please go to momsforliberty.org. That is momsforliberty.org. And of course, we can't get through the end of the session without thanking our great and good producer and technical guru, all things technical, Andre Kuhn. So until tomorrow, we will be signing off. This is Jonathan Steele with the Formula One News Hour saying have a great rest of your day.